Game time. So let me tell y'all this quick story real quick. Tell y'all this quick story. Man. So a few days ago, I was over in St. Louis over the weekend. And when I came back to my truck, I noticed that I had a small, well, I had a puddle of coolant underneath the truck. And so anyway, long story short, I found out that basically I had a leak, a coolant leak. So boom, met this old school cat, been a trucker for 30 years. Called him over. He checked it out. He said, man, you should be good. I told him I had to go to Oklahoma to drop that load off on Monday morning. So that was a late Saturday afternoon when I spoke to him. And I said, do you think I probably could possibly make it to the location, to the spot where I got to drop the load off in Oklahoma? And he said, yeah, you should be good. You know, he said, just like a little small leak. He said, nothing major. But then he said, you just got to be careful because if you have one of the hoses that busts, then, you know, automatically I'm on the side of the road. But he said I should be good, basically. And I'm like, all right. But it was like pretty much 50-50. So anyway, got up Sunday morning, headed out to Oklahoma. I was only an hour away from drop off. So I got there, I'll say maybe late Sunday afternoon. So I got to the Loves, hour away from basically Tulsa, Oklahoma. Parked the truck, went into the Loves for about an hour or so. When I came back, I saw a little puddle of coolant on the ground. I already have an oil leak, so I'm already aware of the oil leak. So I'm like, damn. So I'm like, man, it seemed like it's getting worse. So luckily Loves have a mechanic shop. And so spoke to the manager, told the manager basically what's going on. I said the top hose and the bottom hose of the coolant needs to be switched out. And he was like, all right. He said, well, go ahead. He said, go outside and let my mechanic know. So spoke to his mechanic, told his mechanic what was happening, top hose, bottom hose. And I asked his mechanic, I said, how long do you actually think it will take you to fix this? And he said, man, it probably take less than an hour. I said, all right, cool. Only problem was that it was a Sunday and I have a Volvo and the Volvo dealership is closed on Sundays. So he told me that he'll have to order the part tomorrow morning around 8:30. I said, all right, bet. Told the dispatcher what was going on. He said, all right, you let the broker know. So he said, don't worry about it. Get your truck fixed. So Monday morning came around. When I went in there Monday morning, he shows me the invoice on how much it's going to cost. And he told me how much the small hose cost, which was $45. And he told me the big hose cost I think it was like $75. Then he showed me the labor part. The labor, he was charging me $142 an hour for 2 hours. So that was basically $280 or $260, some shit like that. But the only fucked up part about it is that the coolant, when he lets the coolant out, right? When they let the coolant out, it's supposed to pour into this big ass container, this big ass pan. And my coolant holds about 11 gallons of coolant. So they didn't have a coolant pan to catch it. They only had a pan that they use for something else. And so they didn't have a 11-gallon cooling pan. So they wanted to charge me $21 per bottle, right? And since my coolant reservoir holds 11 gallons, that's $21 times basically 10. I mean, 21 times 11, whatever, plus taxes. So overall, that would have been 200. I think it was like 260. But all together with taxes and all this shit, all together, man, he was gonna charge me $712 for a small hose that connects to the coolant at the top, and the coolant, the big hose that connects all the way at the bottom of the engine, right? $712, man. So I said, you know what? I said, man, let me think on it, bro. Boom. I walked to the truck. I said, man, let me think on this. I said, all right, we've been here a million times. I've been here a million times. So, you know what the deal is. Come on now. Get it together. Get it together, man. Right? So, all right. We got this. Boom. Google, nearest truck repair shop near me. Boom. I called the first mechanic shop that popped up, which was only 10 minutes away from the Love mechanic truck stop. Told the guy what's going on, what I need to be fixed. He said, by the time you get down here, man, he said, we can take care of you. First thing I asked him, I said, do you have a cooling pan that can catch the coolant? He said, of course, And they also have a coolant pump, a hose, which you connect that hose part that you drop into the pan, and then you connect it to the reservoir, which go inside the hole, and it's an air pump. So it pumps the coolant back into your coolant reservoir. I said, all right, cool. So I know he said he had all that. I said, all right, I'm gonna go to the Volvo shop, the dealership, which was only a half a mile from where I was at, literally 3 minutes away from the Love truck stop, mechanic shop. Boom. So I told the manager at Love's, I asked him, I said, did you already order the part? He said, yeah, all you got to do. I told him, I said, yeah, man, I ain't messing with it, but I said, you ordered the part, right? And he said, yeah. So I just drove up there, paid for the small hose, which I said was, $45 or something. Big hose, I think, was $75, $70 or whatever. Cool. Boom. Got the parts. Drove 10 minutes to the mechanic shop. Man, took the guy 45 minutes to fix it. 45 minutes. And guess how much he charged me, y'all? Guess how much he charged me? $215, man. $215. Which took him 45 minutes to fix, right? Cool. The moral of the story is, man, don't let motherfuckers burn you, man. Gas will burn you. Also, shout out to the owner-operators. Do not get things that you need repaired on your truck. Do not go to a franchise place like Love's or a TA, right? They have set prices. Go to the little mom and pop joints. And especially if you go to a mom and pop joint, try to go to a Midwest shop or Southeast or Southwest shop. The cost of living is cheaper, which means that they don't pay you. They don't have these outrageous prices. It's just cheaper. Like I say, Southwest, Southeast, and Midwest. You go west, you go motherfucking east, you paying some money. Even at the little mom and pop truck shops. But don't let people burn you, man. This is the moral of the story. Don't get burnt by these motherfuckers. Especially when people know that you desperate, they gonna burn your ass, right? If they think you desperate, oh, they gonna hit you hard. They gonna hit you hard. But yeah, man, I don't know. And that particular day, this dude, I mean, with a straight face looking at me, like, yeah, $712. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking in my mind, as I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, man, you must think I'm Boo Boo the fool, or I'm the jackass for the day. I'm straight jackass for the day, man. And with a straight face. And I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, I cannot believe this shit. But anyway, and this goes for people who have cars, who got to take their cars to mechanic shops, man. Just try to always maybe get like a second opinion, third opinion, whatever, man. Because if those mechanics think they can get you, man, they going to get your ass. So like I said, I'm repeating shit, but the Loves was going to charge me $712 for the top hose and the bottom hose for the coolant reservoir, right? And I went to this spot, man. Took them. They charged me $215. So it worked out. But like I always say, man, it always worked out. You know, a lot of times you just gotta sit still. You know, take a deep breath, pause, and it'll come to you. You know, it'll come to you. But I mean, I still see that dude's face, and he's just looking at me like, yeah. And I'm looking at him like, man, come on, bro. You trying to get me, bro. You trying to get me, dog. But not today. Nah, you ain't gonna get me. So, yeah. So I'll title this one. I'm gonna title this video, Don't Get Burnt. All right? Truck life. Till next time.